3,
Yes, sir.
2,
Yes, sir.
1, and
Boom.
go.
How you, bro?
All right, I'll take it. What up, ladies and gentlemen? I am your host, Kevin Pillow. I'm doing this totally white. Just kidding. I'm Kevin Pillow, the voice of reason, at voice of reason 23 on all social media platforms. The man over there, if he's over there, he could be over there.
Yeah.
He is Jared Kambakungan,
How you
the
doing?
Dark King. Also
How you
not
doing?
Jared Comics 42 on Instagram, with flash sales coming soon. Are you okay? I did hear.
Yes, sir.
Segue real quick.
Mhm.
Did hear that at least one member of your family got their CGCs. Did you get any of yours in the last shipment from Comic?
I did. Hopefully I'll try to show them out this episode.
Are we
if I can
going
find
to
it.
see any on sale anytime soon?
Probably.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
Also not Jared
maybe.
Comics 42. I'm sure he'll post some links there. If not, search him out on what do you have, like an eBay handle or something, or do you post on?
Yeah, eBay. I forget. I have eBay.
He'll post.
Yeah, I'll
It's
post
like
on my comic main. So
he's like at Suns Out Guns Out 42 on eBay.
Oh, I'm the one with the guns out, huh?
I came from the gym. I just didn't feel like soiling another shirt. No, catch up time a little bit. We mentioned a little bit on the bonus episode where we did not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 what if episodes in 1.5 hours. It was impressive, even for our standards. That JR has been under the weather. A combination of things. He went on vacation for about a week, went to Rose City Comic Con, which we will see at the tail end of this episode. We will see a flex pool. That's right. You saw my whiteness there. For those who listen to the audio format, I'm wearing no sleeves. I came from the gym, and so I'm not being like freaking racist or anything right now on myself. I'm just got really white farmer tan arms, and I just didn't feel like changing shirts after the gym, and I wanted to be like JR, except my arms are about half the size of his. But JR went on vacation, went to Rose City Comic Con. Flex Pool coming at the end of the show. I've got some. I had some comics, but they're upstairs. Forget it. I got some Funkos to show off. And you have been dealing with some under the weatherness. Don't need to get into details. Check out the bonus episode. JR talks about it. But he's doing good.
I'm doing better. Yeah.
Back at the gym, busting iron. But we are here back, folks. I have, by the way, since the last time we talked, I rejoined a gym. Having fun doing that. And I actually had someone today tell me, he's like, hey, you losing a little bit of weight? Yeah, good to know.
Nice.
I'll have to check. I haven't weighed in yet today, so I'll see what's going on.
Nice.
Real quick, want to get some business out of the way. For those of you who don't know, this show, obviously co-hosted by you, yours truly, and JR Kambakungan. Really, JR was the this guy was the pusher for it, if so to speak. He got this thing lit, but for those who wait to the end of the episode, especially on the video version, you see copyright KRP Broadcasting. That's my company that co-produces it. But I co-produce quite a bit of other content, and we are working on doing a live show. We are working on doing a live show. I do have some software to do it now. It's probably news for JR. But no, you've seen some of the stuff. We've done some unboxings and whatnot. I've done some live videos on YouTube and Facebook. Friend of mine, give him a shout out. His name is Sean Webb. He is a member of a school district out here where I live here in California. For those of you who are watching back in the motherland, by the way, JR, our numbers continue to grow in the Philippines. We are killing it right now.
Salamat, my people.
So thank you so much for everyone who listens around the globe, not necessarily specifically here in the United States, but all over the place. Love seeing those flags pop up on the analytics webpage. Anyways, so shout out to Sean Webb. Him and I, mostly him, he produces a show that I do on Friday nights called the Desert Sand Educational Foundation Halftime Show, which is a halftime show for high school football, soon to be other sports in the near future. But he is allowing me to use some software that might allow us to do some live content.
Let's go.
And of course, unofficially, Sean will have I guess an executive producer role in PS Comics I Love You, just because he's letting us borrow the software. But yeah, guys, check it out too. If you're a big sports fan, specifically if you like sport, high school sports, check it out.
Yeah.
It's the Desert Sands Educational Foundation halftime show on Friday nights, usually between 8 and 8:30 on our sister channel, Prep Sports Net. So check it out. Prep Sports _net on Twitter and whatnot. So check it out.
I gotta say, for those who've been listening in, who've been listening to us for a while now, even though we are full-on comic book nerds, we're actually pretty big sports fans ourselves.
We're big sports fans.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
JR's a front runner. He roots for the Lakers. You know,
Lakers
doesn't know any better.
Lakers, Dodgers, football team is going to be Niners. I've been rep Niners since I was like 10, and I've been with them up and down. But then as of right now, I'm a huge fan of Shohei Ohtani. I mean, who isn't a big fan of Shohei Ohtani? I mean, Stephen A. Smith isn't a big fan of Shohei Ohtani, but then that's a different subject.
Stephen A. Smith is a tool. He's been a tool his entire life. He's a Philadelphia honk. I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole for a second. Jay and I have talked about this in previous episodes. Stephen A. Smith is a total honk. He's a jerk. He pretends to like other sports, but really and truly he's a closet Philadelphia fan that can't appreciate anything else outside of the city of brotherly love.
I mean, yeah, when you get here, my biggest point of content with him is his comments on Shohei.
Oh yeah, it was uncalled for.
Shohei Ohtani. It was incredibly like, oh man, you can't be the fucking face of baseball if you don't speak English. Like, do you not understand how fucking racist that sound? Like, homie, you don't understand how, like, bro, the MVP for the NBA is a Greek player.
Yeah.
He's black, yes, but like it's like just think of it. Just think of it this way: if someone said, "Hey, even though Giannis can speak a little bit of English, he needs to speak better English," like that would sound hella fucking suspect. And so just baseball. Yeah, of course he fucking knows.
So, bro, what's the guy from NBA?
You're just Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis. Yeah, him. You don't think he knows that to be more marketable?
Yeah,
he needs to learn English, and you don't think he is. Look at a lot of these guys. You look at, like, I bet you LeBron probably knows, and don't get me wrong, I am not a LeBron fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I bet you LeBron knows enough of foreign languages to get him by in a marketing standpoint.
Yeah,
one of my and I just had his name, Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol knows like 3 or 4 languages. Obviously, he's Spanish, correct?
Yep.
Spanish. He knows English quite well.
Absolutely.
And I think he knows Portuguese because obviously, right there. I believe he knows French.
Yeah, I think so. The person that I've been pretty sure there's more people specifically. I think Luka is probably one of the best. But like for me, my personal favorite NBA player of all time is gonna be Kobe Bryant. And he learned I think he has like 5 or 6 languages before.
Yeah, so he knew. I know he knew Chinese and he knew Japanese.
He was learning Mandarin.
That's right. He was learning Mandarin. Yeah.
Italian, English. He spoke in.
Well, he's from Italy too.
Yeah. He of course was. He grew up in Italy.
Yeah.
So it was English, Italian, Spanish. He also learned Croatian. No, I forgot. No, it was a type of Slavic a Slavic language, and like he was learning Mandarin, he was learning another language as well. So like, like
I said, a lot of these guys they know, and I'll use for example too. I know people go, he's not a real athlete. John Cena, when he worked with the WWE, he learned one of the languages. He is pretty damn fluent in Mandarin, and it's an impossible language. It's almost as possible as learning Latin, which is a dead language. But I know we've chased a rabbit here. We'll talk about Stephen A. Smith, but anyways,
it's
F
just
you,
like
Stephen A. Smith.
yeah. So but then go back to our point. We are huge, we
We
are
are
huge
sports
sports
fans.
fans, man. So
We
like,
are.
yeah, we are really big sports fans. I would love to get into like basketball sports podcasts where just talk about basketball because basketball is coming up again, just currently. And even though I'm a diehard Laker fan, there's talent throughout the whole freaking league right now. It's one of the most like after the 95 draft, no 96 draft, no after the 2003 draft, 2002 draft, where we've seen one of the craziest, the craziest drafts of all time. This current draft of the 2012 to 2017 draft class, man, has been like they're gonna take over. Uh, Booker, Luca, Trey, Jason Tatum, freaking even D'Angelo Russell, who's coming up, and people are gonna hate on D'Angelo Russell, but then he's sneaky right now. Brandon Ingram, and of course, I forgot his name. It was tip of my tongue. I just thought about him, but yeah, but like the draft class right now, they're gonna take over the league for the next foreseeable future, man. So it's super exciting. Just basketball right now is super exciting. But on to the main thing.
It was that we have, and like I said, there's a bunch of other podcasts we're working on reinstating. Obviously, Talking Tech was a show that I used to do with a buddy of mine. Thinking about possibly bringing that back with a friend of mine, plus possibly bringing back obviously Prep Sports Net Live, which would be a weekly high school sports talk show, and of course a sports show. Yeah, that's exactly what it's called, a sports show, with a couple of other one of my buddies. So a lot of stuff coming up. Check it out. You can on Facebook go to KRP Broadcasting to get more information about that. But yeah, I just want to give a little side promotion for Prep Sports Net and the Desert Sands Educational Foundation halftime show that we do every Friday. Like JR said, moving right along, we got plenty of talk to talk about, got some news and notes about video games to get into, but I do want to throw this in there because we've got so much to talk about on the back end for trailers. I do want to throw a few little bit of news and notes out there. For those of you who are MCU fans, which we will talk about Hawkeye here in a little bit, I believe next week, a week from Friday, next week, Black Widow finally coming to Disney Plus for free. And I have it. I've had premiere access to it since June. I've watched it at least a dozen times. I do enjoy it. I think that it could be maybe fatigue from it, but I think that having watched it more and more, I think that it's a good film. I wish that more would have been told of Natasha Romanoff, but I get the timeliness and maybe the marketability of a female lead movie wasn't as niche as it was 10 years ago. It is as it is today, but I'm hoping that someday Scarlett will be able to reconcile with the House of Mouse and the
get
House
her damn
of Ideas.
Money.
What's that?
Get her damn money.
Well, if she gets paid alimony.
Yeah.
So that's coming out next week, and then we do get an official release date. November 15th is when we will get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings for free on Disney Plus, and it's, I believe, around that same time, if not sooner, it will get a digital release, meaning iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, yada yada yada, Amazon Prime. The DVD or the Blu-ray release, I think, is still going to be closer to Christmas. Black Widow is already out. I think Target's got a steel book for those collectors out there. But I am looking forward to getting. I do know this: that Disney Plus doesn't usually do the behind-the-scenes stuff. So if you want to get the behind-the-scenes, deleted scenes, gag reel, blah 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 blah, you're gonna need to buy what my buddy over here did with the Ultra 4K HD whatever version of it. I will be doing that, but I'm gonna wait for the price to come down. They still wanted $30 for it. I'm like, I already paid $30 once to Scarlett. You're not getting another 30 out of me. But real quick, I wanted to ask you this before. This popped in my head, Jared.
Yeah.
Total nerd thing to do.
Okay.
We're talking to the right audience. Do you watch behind the scenes stuff?
Every now and then.
Okay.
If I'm super enthralled into whatever it was I was watching, I would definitely watch it. Like Mandalorian.
I know, absolutely.
Right. Something gets me super pissed off that I need to like analytically try to like break down Last Jedi. I had to get into it just try to figure out what the fuck happened to that shit, right? And we found out what the fuck happened to that shit. Other things, I think I was looking at the behind the scenes for, I forgot which animated film I saw recently. I think it was Raya. I saw. I think I had that one out. Or what else? What other BTS stuff I saw? It was a couple. It was just more so like if the film super enthralled me, right? Really enthralled me, like really drew me in or pissed me off to the point where I gotta figure out what the hell went wrong, type of thing.
Now, the big nerd thing,
Mm-hmm.
anyone can watch behind the scenes, watch a making of, watching the gag reels. Have you ever done director's commentary? That's the ultimate nerd thing.
I have not.
Okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. I have seen it one time, and it was for, I think, Snatch way back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So it was either Snatch or another movie. I forgot what it was called, but go ahead.
No, I was just say I thought about it one time. First off, I think one of the first behind the scenes that I ever did was, and of course, in the DVD era is when it really kind of came to the forefront, was behind the scenes and making of documentaries and stuff like that. I think the first time I was interested in doing the behind the scene or doing a director's commentary was the Star Wars prequels. That was one of my first ones I did. I watched the behind the scenes and watched the making of, because I really wanted to see how they made those movies.
Understandable.
But I wanted to do the director's commentary of, I think it was either episode 1 or episode 2 of Star Wars. And I remember it wasn't George Lucas. So it wasn't even like director's commentary. It was like the writers. It was somebody else. There was not George Lucas director commentary.
Yeah.
So I think I aborted after about like 10 minutes of it. And I was like, this sucks. And then I think just for the sheer randomness of it, I thought about doing the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
With extended edition Peter Jackson director's commentary. I thought about doing that, but I was like, Peter Jackson, genius, one of the greatest storytellers of our time. I can't listen to him talk for 4 hours over a 4-hour movie. So I just thought it was funny. Leave us in the comments below. What was the first movie that you can remember watching behind the scenes or like a documentary on the making of? And have you ever done a director's commentary? What was your favorite? What was your first one? What was your least favorite? Put it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. I just thought it would be a kind of a fun question since we are inching ever so closer to some of these massive movies over the summer getting a digital and or DVD release, and you're gonna have all this behind the scenes stuff coming out. I'm anxious to see the making of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I think that's gonna be an amazing behind the scenes. It was so visually stunning. And if you haven't seen it, shame on you. Go see it. It's a freaking great movie. Probably top 10. It's my top 10 MCU movies of all time.
Yeah.
Okay. With that said, let's get after it. News and notes. Both Sony and Nintendo had some monthly live streams. That's kind of a new thing. It used to be CES or E3, even Comic-Con. Or a New York Comic-Con.
Gamescom. Like, it used to be these big events.
But now we're seeing with Sony, or sorry, not with Sony, with Nintendo, they do Nintendo Directs. They usually do them about once a quarter, maybe twice a year, or individually for, say, a Pokemon or a Mario or a Animal Crossing, kind of their tentpole games. But Sony has been really, because it's funny when JR sent me the notes this morning or last night about this particular episode, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we're going to talk about PlayStation." And I was like, "Dude, we just talked about PlayStation. They just did an event like a month ago." And I'm like, "Oh crap, they did another one." So a slew of games were announced during the show. Let's start with Switch, with Nintendo really making some splashes over the past week. Most specifically, I think that they made the announcements about Metroid Dread, which is coming out in a week from Friday. Castlevania, which was one of my all-time favorite movies, favorite games back in the day. Mario Party Superstars.
Was revealed.
That's coming at the end of October. Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
The reveal.
That was a big hit. That was a huge reveal.
Yeah. It looked very much like they have the Super Mario or the newer Super, like Super Mario, the more recent iterations of Mario, right? Like that very much 3DS world type of thing where it was very heavy on the platforming. So it felt like, hey, I remember seeing the original like Kirby 3D or whatever, the one they came out years, like I think nearly a decade ago now, and like it looks really good. It looks really freaking clean. I'm super excited for Kirby, man.
And yeah, Kirby. Imagine like it's like Kirby open world. It was very, like you said, very Mario Party
Galaxy, very Mario Galaxy.
Very Mario Galaxy. Very Mario Galaxy. Kind of almost the same engine a little bit. Which I'm interested to see what my son thinks about it. He loves those Mario games. By the way, his birthday coming up this week. Happy birthday, Jake.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Huge Mario fan. Loves everything Mario. And Pokemon cards. And, I'm not going to tell you where I found Pokemon cards this week because I don't want you to steal my source. There was 2 games that were getting released next week. I know Metroid Dread. I thought there was something else, but there was a lot of nostalgia content also released. JR has noted here in the notes. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is going to be launched in November. Now, if you saw the game graphics for it, I know a lot of people, because it's being released and being marketed as a new title, but it's not, and it's not a remake. It is
it's basically just a port of the classic 2003 like Xbox, PC, PS3. Was PS3 the era? No, that was
no. That would have been PlayStation 2 at best.
Yeah, PlayStation 2, Xbox, regular Xbox era, dude.
Well, Knights of the Old Republic was a massive PC game. I mean, it had a little bit of a splash on the consoles, but it did better because I remember, and I'm not a huge PC gamer. I love consoles. I like the controls. I think it used better. This is before you could. Oh yeah, Kevin, you can use a controller on a freaking.
Now you can.
Not back then. You could. It was click and mouse. It was mouse and keyboard. But Knights of the Old Republic was very much a PC game. I think I had it on. I had a version of it on Xbox. Original Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't think I had. I think I had it for. I think I may have had it for Xbox, or at least I played it on that. But yeah, if you're looking if you're looking for super graphics, this is not your game. If you're looking for nostalgia feel, this might be your game. It does not translate well though. I saw the graphics, and God, we used to consider that good.
Great, yeah. Like it is the crazy thing about it, man. Like it's definitely a nostalgia trip, right? And this was back when BioWare, the company, was great. This is before they were still part of EA. And they were still doing a lot of things, man. But this is when they were in their niche of like, that's
right. That was an Electronic Arts game.
It is, yeah. And BioWare, before they did fucking like the horrendous shit that they put out the last couple of years.
Battlefront.
No,
not Battlefront. Was it Battlefront?
It was that. No, it was Dice with the Battlefront. It was they did like this game called Anthem, which was basically, it looked good, but then it was very much a cash grab type of thing where it wasn't all about it. They also put out another game, Mass Effect Andromeda, which was totally nothing like the original like trilogy that they made back during the Xbox 360 era. And so BioWare, this is when they were really, really seen as a pristine AAA developer. They still kind of are in certain regards, man, but like they definitely fell off in the last generation or so. But yeah, I'm super excited. It's always good to have. Switch has been definitely looked at as like the nostalgia type of a console right now. A lot of their older stuff, specifically like Castlevania, even so their older Metroid, they've been going on to their Switch devices, which is cool. It's great. Nice to have. Super excited about that. And one biggest thing that I was super excited about was Bayonetta 3. That was awesome. I'm a big.
I can't say that I know much about the franchise, but
it's a very niche game. It's a very niche game. Yeah, it's a Japanese. It's made from Platinum. Platinum Studios, like the original creator made like the Devil May Cry franchise, Resident Evil franchise, like that type of like lineage, right? And so Bayonetta,
Yeah, it had a very Res Evil kind of
yeah, yeah,
DOA kind of feel to
yeah,
it.
it is the game. They toned it down. I will say
That's what I heard.
they toned it down because like it's Nintendo, right? The original Bayonetta 1, even a little bit part of Bayonetta 2, it was very risque. I mean, she does stripper moves for dance attacks, of course. So she does exotic dance moves. There you go. That's the proper terminology. Exotic dance moves in order to freaking conjure up demonic demons and kaijus to fight against other freaking creatures. That's freaking awesome to see. I'm super excited about that. That will release in 2022. Hopefully by that time I'll get my own damn freaking Switch and to play it. But I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to get a Switch. I like, guys, I apologize. Like, I know I should be playing all these freaking games and everything, but like, I'm like debating whether or not to get a PC, a laptop, or a Switch. Well, Switch is inevitable, but then like PC or laptop, I'm still doing that. I spent way too much freaking money at the trip, so here we go. Here we are, man. Moving on. I gotta say,
real quick before I forget, talking about the nostalgia feel for Nintendo, they made a very surprise announcement, something that we've been waiting for since the first time this service was revealed. Nintendo has an online service and allows you pay a one-time fee, and I think it's $20 a year. I actually pay for it, and I forgot how much I paid for it. But to be able to play stuff online, like a Pokemon Unite, Animal Crossing, anything that requires Pokemon Sword and Shield, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, anything that requires you to go online, requires an online service. So you can connect to the internet and do basic things online with, like, say, a Pokemon Sword and Shield or something like that, but you can't, I don't believe you can commingle with other online people. And at $20 a year, it's not bad at all. But what the biggest selling point was for the online service was you had emulators online that allowed you to play NES and SNES games.
Yeah.
And everyone with, again, and then you're right there, nostalgic feels, playing classic Super Mario, playing Paperboy, Duck Hunt, classic Metroid, and so on and so forth. Mario Kart on the SNES was, when are they going to finally announce the Nintendo 64? Well, they did. And that is going to be a more specific announcement about the Nintendo Online Plus will be announced sometime next month. And it will include not only the Nintendo 64, JR, but it is going to include the Sega Genesis.
Oh, that's right.
Including Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin, and so much other. I believe they even advertised like Contra games, possibly Street Fighter. So really cool games that you never would have thought to associate with Nintendo, but people forget that Nintendo bought Sega probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually utilized some of its Dreamcast technology with the Wii U and the Wii, and so on and so forth. But a lot of Sega Genesis games, and that was a
good
innovated console back in the day.
Really
took, because that was still a cartridge based console, but use a lot more video graphics, if that makes any sense.
Oh, dude, I'm just thinking about back the old console wars back then. I don't know if it was Sony or Sega, but like Sega can when Nintendo don't, like those type of.
They used to do all kinds of stuff. I remember I used to get into battles with friends that liked PlayStation 1 and the Sega CD. Would go like, oh my gosh, you could do so much more with a DVD or CD-ROM, in this case a CD-ROM, than you can with a cartridge. And all of us would be like, that were big fans of the Nintendo 64. Remember, I was even still in high school too. That's how big of a deal it was. It's so funny that people associate the Nintendo consoles with kids, meaning little kids. But people don't realize that the PlayStation 1 was when I graduated high school in 1999. Like the PlayStation 1 was maybe a year or two old, and even then there was not a lot of titles on it. Grand Theft Auto, Tekken, and that really was about it. I mean, the original Gran Turismo was still about a year or so away.
Yeah, like they didn't really get super, like PlayStation didn't really get super big until like somewhere midway when they got like Tomb Raider. Like when they got
Tomb Raider was the big get, and that was maybe it had been out for a couple of years, but but
it was just a different technology where they wanted to introduce. Like I remember that whole thing too, where like Sony went to Nintendo and said, "Hey, let's do this space thing. We can do it. We can collaborate, all that stuff." Then Nintendo said, "Nah, fuck y'all. You're doing our own thing." And Sony's like, "I bet we'll make our own console." Then that's how they got into it. And so that was just crazy to say, man. Just yeah. And then ever since that, I remember those console wars growing up in high school. PS2 era type of stuff, PS3. I'm like, that was fun. And now you're just old enough to buy whatever the hell you want to, and just who cares, as long as there's good games to it, man.
Yeah, and like I said, I can remember the PlayStation 2, Xbox console wars now, and that's all we see now is Xbox versus PlayStation, and the Nintendo's over here going like, it's okay, we're gonna count our billions, whatever.
Yeah. It's like
you can't get an Xbox for a PlayStation right now.
Well, funny enough, I know I didn't add this on. Sony is still the fastest. The PS5 is still the fastest selling console in the I think the tail end of the year, some crazy stuff like that. Even though, like, granted, it's all because of freaking scalpers, obviously, but like, so that was a crazy number to see. And also segueing into Sony related news.
Yep.
Their like we said before, their live stream came on, I think, a couple weeks ago now, and yeah, they've had a monthly live stream just saying, their state of play, figuring out what's going on, what's going down the pipeline. last time we talked about it was a whole death loop type of thing. This one was actually a lot more meat to the bones, basically, right? And just like we said before about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for Switch, a full-on freaking remake is being developed for the PS5 and PC, I'm pretty sure. And that surprise I had. I mean, they freaking kicked out the doors by saying, "Hey, the live stream started. Hey, we're doing SWTOR, we're doing Star Wars KOTOR, but then it's a full-on remake with this different studio. Which have some of the old BioWare guys that made the original games." I'm like, what? Let's freaking go, dude. Like, oh, dude, I was super excited. I cannot wait. I can play I can see Bastille again. I can see all my freaking I can see Dark Revan. I can see all my old favorite characters, man. I'm super excited for that one. That came out it did have some lulls because it's gonna happen. Like it was like an hour and a half, I think, a full, like either like an hour and a half of just games, and a lot of that stuff was games we already knew and saw. Like it had Deathloop in there. It had this very interesting Japanese game I forgot the name of, where it featured a very buxom girl, which a lot of interesting camera angles, I guess. I'm like, okay. They had Forspoken, which that was a great trailer to see. It was a Square Enix game that looked really freaking cool. At Gran Turismo 7, and then the big ones came out. I'm talking about like, all right, we made you guys wait for about 30 minutes. Here's the next 20 or 30 minutes is just full on haymakers. Spider-Man 2 reveal.
That was a shocker.
Oh man, I'm like, dude, y'all just got like, don't you guys ever take freaking breaks?
Right.
What are you doing, Insomniac? They showed a full-on reveal. They showed Miles, they showed Peter. I'm pretty sure we heard Craven, and then we saw freaking Venom. I'm like, let's go. I'm in. But before that, another trailer came out, which this one freaking would trip me out. Wolverine.
I did not see that coming, and that's also, if I'm not mistaken, coming from Insomniac.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? Take a break, guys. Take a freaking break. They made what? Spider-Man 1. They made Spider-Man 1 that came out in 2018. 2018, like literally the end of 2018. Then they made Miles Morales. Then they made they were also developing Ratchet and Clank Rift Through Time. Right, 3 games in like the span of 4 years, and then they're in development for 2 more games.
And both of them slated, I believe. I think Wolverine is slated for next year,
and it's TBA.
Okay, I think that's right. Yeah, Wolverine was TBA. Spider-Man definitely being a little bit more reasonable. It is a 2023 release.
fine. It's fine.
Which is fine. Get it done.
Takes
I still have
time.
not even beaten Miles Morales yet. I beat
Bro,
Spider-Man. As a matter of fact, I prolonged beating Spider-Man 1 because I didn't want it to end. It was probably one of the greatest games I ever played. I mean, I honestly will say that the original Spider-Man game, and Miles Morales is fantastic.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, yeah. I'll say it easily, probably in my top 5 favorite, and I would rate it as one of the top 5 greatest games of all time.
It's most likely, it's definitely for me probably the best, near the top 3, top 2, the best like comic book adaptation video games.
Oh, absolutely.
Of all time. Yeah, it's like that and like Arkham Asylum, the very first Batman game, right? They're up there for me. Like people still love Deadpool, but then like the Deadpool game was kind of freaking hella zany, and then I loved Wolverine Origins, which is the bloody version that came out with the movie, but that was still kind of like I'm hoping that the Wolverine game that's coming out from Insomniac, granted that like they might kind of cut back on some of the decapitations and slaughtering and stuff, which sucks, but then it's Insomniac and they'll be faithful, and that's what I'll know, they'll be faithful. And so just take your time. Insomniac did I think have a second team. They just made a second team, and so I think they're developing Wolverine. But like dude, I am super excited. That means like, what else can they do? What else can Insomniac do? Just I'm freaking hoping that Marvel, or Disney and Marvel just like continue to look at Sony and say, hey, let's just freaking work together. Here's everything, and just make everything fucking right. Right? As much as I try to respect Marvel Avengers, for me, it would been done better if you give it to Insomniac. Honestly.
Oh, absolutely. And I know that I think from one of the things that I've read about that deal was that I don't know if it was supposed to be in with Insomniac, because there was definitely supposed to be a tie-in with the Spider-Man game, and that there was going to be a crossover, which there technically still is. There is a Spider-Man that is supposed to appear in the Marvel's Avengers game. I think it's not coming until January. They just released a bunch of the MCU skins. I think Black Panther came out last month. I haven't played it in a while. I gotta clean off my desk over here, but nonetheless, I think Insomniac was supposed to do the Avengers game, and it ended up being
dude. Just I'm hoping they come out. Yeah, I'm hoping they do a Venom. Oh gosh,
I can imagine it's probably, sorry about that. It's probably inevitable that they are going to
do a Venom with the Cates run. Oh my gosh, dude, that would be so sick inside this Sony universe that everyone's going through, where like not everyone is like, granted, like, Eddie Brock isn't Venom. Spoiler alert, guys. Sorry if you haven't played the Spider-Man, the PlayStation Sony Spider-Man games. Eddie Brock is not going to be Venom, that we know right now, because supposedly the Venom symbiote is going to be in Harry, which is Peter Parker's friend, and as well as like other characters that come involved. Like, dude, this is freaking cool. I love it. I'm super excited for it. Cannot wait for it. Glad I got a PS5, and I'm telling you, I gotta bring over my PS5, and you gotta play Miles on PS5, because I've seen gameplay for it on PS4. They definitely looked at PS5 first and say, we'll do it here, and they cut off a lot of stuff for the PS4 version. I'm letting you know.
I bought my copy of Miles Morales on Amazon. Yeah, and it does come with the PlayStation 5 download. I'm probably still about another year away from owning a PlayStation 5.
It might be 2 years.
I don't think my wife's
going to be honest with you. You might be 2 years. So you might be 2 years total, to be honest with you.
Well, just based on probably availability. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But no, the Spider-Man 2 reveal looks great. Wolverine was shocking. I think that people are going to be I'm curious as to what the storyline is. If it's just going to be, because it has very much like an old man Logan kind of feel to it. If we're going to see Wolvie suit up in the classic blue and yellow or whatnot, and
it's gonna happen,
because it's being done by Insomniac
It's gonna happen.
Is it going to be open world? Where is Wolverine going to be based? Is it just going to follow them? Or are we going to see other X-Men? All that's probably will be revealed down the road. And this is a TBA game, so that means they're probably in the early stages of the game development. So, one last big video game bit of news. This was from about a week or so ago. This is a God of War Ragnarok. It'll have a 2022 release, and of course, we've learned in years past that Ragnarok means the end of all things. And well, when you got a name of a title, when you get the name of a show, a video game called God of War, it's only inevitable that the end of all things is right around the corner. So, JR, you know more about this franchise than I do. Tell me a bit about God of War Ragnarok.
Oh my gosh, bro, I love it so much. For those who've been, I've been rocking the PlayStation for a very long time, and so like when God of War came out during the PS2 era, right? I was definitely interested since then, right? I know nearly all the freaking directors for every one of them. I'm pretty sure there's only 3: Cory Balrog, Jaffe, and the current one. Oh my gosh, he's doing this right now. I just forgot his name. His name escaped me. But yeah, the God of War franchise was freaking beautiful. I love it. It originally is a Greek. It went from the Greek pantheon until God of War Ascension. Technically, technically the last God of War was God of War Ascension that had the Greek era, but then the last like main iteration of God of War was God of War 3, right? And then from that point, we had this huge time skip to God of War, right? That came out in 2018 as well, 2017, 2018. And then that's when we have Kratos, the God of War. He is now in a Norse setting with a son. And he's fighting, and he's not fighting. That's a spoilery word to say, but he is in contact with a lot of the Norse mythology gods. And so it's a beautiful series. The series is just as brutal, well, nearly just as brutal. The acting is supreme, dude. They're doing a lot of crazy things with the game. Like the camera never pans out for anything else. You're always on Kratos' back, or if the camera does pan out, it's for like a cinematic view. It goes back to there's never a cut in the game, never a cut screen in the game. That's fucking amazing to see. They really Kratos is a much more well-rounded character in this franchise, because he's a father again, and that he's looking after his kid. And dude, I gotta say that it's different, bro. I feel like the God of War soft reboot came out in 2018 it just hits different. It's a different type of feel for one who's been growing up with the franchise. Like it hits us in an age where like, all right, cool. We God of War, the first trilogy was about rage and anger and trying to have revenge. This one is like, all right, you're dead now. Here you go. How do you try to leave your old past behind? Basically still as a god, but at the same time raise a boy to be a man in a Norse setting where everything's trying to kill you, right? And so like just that type of thing, dude. Everything hit different. It was a much more it's a better, well-rounded story. Ragnarok came out. It looks super beautiful. It looks super good, man. It looks really freaking good. The events from the past came, you see immediately, because you see a bunch of people that that wanted to see you dead. Now they're there. Thor is in this one as well. I don't think you've seen that one yet, but like Thor, they're trying to do a lot more like accurate depictions of like Norse,
more of the Norse side.
Yeah. If you see Thor, right? If anybody have seen Thor in God of War Ragnarok, like the pictures they put out, right? He looks nothing like Chris Hemsworth, nothing, or any iteration of Thor that has come out in the last since Marvel. I'm talking about red hair, beer gut belly, right? Tattoos everywhere. And he has a full-on full-on goatee, like full-on mustache, and he is the depiction of of Thor that is said to be this drunkard, angry person that's just vengeful in Norse mythology. So they're going for that route, and I freaking love it. He looks more like a strong man than he does Chris Hemsworth. That's all I gotta say. and it looks good. It looks freaking good, man. I am super excited for this game. Comes out in 2022. It was supposed to come out this year, but they pushed it back, which I'm now cool with. Come on, you guys know me. Cyberpunk. Push back your shit, push back your games so you can do good, so you can do justice for them. I don't care how long it takes. Sure, maybe, you know, if you go from like, oh yeah, it's supposed to come out next year, oh wait, it'll come out 4 years from now, like that stuff I'll have a problem with. But like these guys, they said it was supposed to come like November or September of this year, and they're pushing it a little bit to March. So cool. Hey man, take your time, polish whatever you need to do, and get this game out, because this was one of the games of the generation last go around, right? God of War. And so I'm like, hey, Insomniac, PlayStation, Cinematica, they have my good graces on anything. Just do what you need to do. That's all I can say about that. Super excited about those game guys. And I will say, let me know in the comments what games you're excited for. You know, if you think I'm off base about some of these games, if you think I'm on base for some of these games, let me know, guys. Message me at my Instagram, all that stuff. You know where to find me. So, but yeah, I was super excited about that.
That would be also not Jared Comics 42 on Instagram if you want to slide
Yes,
it in
sir.
DMs. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what you thought of these two events. What are you most excited for? Do you think, here's the big question, do you think with the Nintendo Switch adding N64, are they going to be adding non-Nintendo related titles to their loop? And I know that with the NES and the SNES release, it seems like they played with it a little bit, but yeah. I'm telling you right now, what would be really cool to play on the Switch on a Nintendo 64 emulator, GoldenEye. And so we will have to wait and see. That was not advertised as one of the games to be released, but two of my all-time favorite games I've ever played is on the Nintendo 64. GoldenEye and WWF No Mercy. Considered to be the greatest wrestling game of all time.
Quick question, was Perfect Dark on N64 as well? I'm pretty sure it was. Perfect Dark.
Yes, because Perfect Dark was made from the same company that did GoldenEye.
Yeah, it was before Perfect Dark, the franchise got bought out by Microsoft. Yeah, like I don't know if Perfect Dark can be on N64, but that'd be awesome to see, because I love that game.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I do know the big marketing push for the Nintendo 64 add-on. Mind you, no price has been added. It will be an additional cost. So if you already have the $20 a year Nintendo online service, it's gonna be an add-on. You're gonna have to buy either a different tier or like a $5 add-on or whatever it is. Nintendo has not announced that. They've not announced a release date. They have not released the entire list of video games. What they have released is pretty much their games of what they own. The Nintendo, I think it's Mario Kart 64, Mario 64, I think it was like Mario Party 64, like a lot of those Mario Nintendo 64 game titles. But the big one that was announced that will be available at launch will be Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Arguably one of, if not the greatest Zelda game of all time. Breath of the Wild might give it a run for its money. Because it's so visually stunning and it's open world. But Ocarina of Time took Legend of Zelda to a whole new level. And had it not been for Ocarina of Time and what they accomplished with that game, we don't have Breath of the Wild.
We don't have to be honest with you, if we don't have Ocarina of Time, we don't have a lot of games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you're talking about one of the first 3D Zeldas that had like the certain sense of like open world, even though Super Mario, I think Mario 3D was technically the first like 3D game in that sense.
Yeah,
bro, if it wasn't for Ocarina of Time, a lot of these games, right, just in general, would not have been made if it wasn't for that game. So again, it's like top 5 all time of all games. That's a big
Ocarina of Time is definitely, it's up there.
Yeah, like I do like just really be thinking about, even though like I'm a huge Sony fan, like if you give me a list of top 1 through 20 of of games of all time, majority of that's going to be Microsoft. No, majority of that's going to is not Microsoft. It's going to be Nintendo. Nintendo easily. It's so you can't combat with that. That would be like trying to, I don't know, be in the truck game business and go against and try to dismantle like Ford F-150s. You can't. That's the mainstay of the market. So same thing with Nintendo, dude. Same here.
Moving right along to trailers and announcements. Part of that Nintendo announcement was, and if you've been sleeping under a rock, you probably missed this, is they brought in Shigeru Miyamoto.
Miyamoto.
The legendary game developer for the Mario franchise, if I'm not mistaken.
For like Mario, Zelda, Super Mario Party, a bunch of games. Dude,
but I mean, like the Nintendo mainstays, kind of Zelda.
Announced the man who saved Nintendo, basically. So yeah.
Announced that a full-length feature animated movie about Mario is being released December of next year in North America. Other regions have not had a release date, but this is a huge get. It's a full animated feature. So we're talking at least 90 minutes, fully animated. We don't know what style. I'm hoping for like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show animated side, like that kind of animation, but we'll wait and see. Big names, massive names, some good, some questionable, some have some fans going, really
interesting.
But let's take a look at the cast. Playing the big shoes under the red hat, Chris Pratt is Mario. That's one of the ones that people go like,
interesting.
Especially considering that Charles Martinet, I hope I said that, who is the original, it's me, Mario. The original voice of Mario is in the movie, not playing Mario.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy, of course, you know her from the Queen. Was it the Queen's Ransom?
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit, as well as she played Magic perfectly in the New Mutants, at least look wise.
Loved her.
I still have yet to see the movie. I want to see it. I just haven't seen it yet. Yeah. She's playing Princess Peach. Charlie Day as Luigi. Now, Charlie Day,
super interesting,
might be Italian. I don't know. I don't think so. But you have two. Again, Chris Pratt. If you're Italian, I eat my shoes. But you have two of the biggest video game characters of all time.
Yep.
Two of the godfathers of video games, Mario and Luigi. Mostly Mario, but let's give you Luigi. Okay. And neither one of them are being voiced by an Italian actor.
I mean,
do they have to be? No, but they are marketed as two Italian plumbers.
Yeah.
It's not where people go, oh, you're just assuming because they're from New York. But I'm like, okay, based on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, yes, they were plumbers from New York. Blah, blah, blah. We don't know what their official storyline is of how they ended up in Mushroom Land and stuff like that. But they're two Italian plumbers.
At this point, sure, they're two, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because of how like their long stay, like how long they've been in the game. And I just think it was interesting for like just to have Charlie Day in it, because if you for people who don't know, Charlie Day is the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right? If you ever seen a meme where like it's like a guy pointing at like behind them with like all these like the conspiracy theories type of thing, right? That's him. That's the guy, the meme, right? The face there, that's him. And so it was an interesting choice, to say the least. I'll give it a chance still, because like
absolutely,
it's a Mario Party game. It's a Mario Party game. And for another person who's going on there, Jack Black as Bowser.
That I liked.
Yeah, it's interesting
because
it's Jack Black. So
Jack Black can play devious. But Bowser, Bowser is a dark character, but needs to have a little levity. Almost.
I mean, Jack Black is an actor. Like, bro, when he was in Jumanji, I gotta say it though. When he's in Jumanji, the first one, and he's able to play your typical high school white girl, quote unquote, right?
Oh yeah.
And then as like, but still himself. Like the man has chops. The man has acting chops for days, and I freaking love him, and I love him for that. Seth Rogen though, Seth Rogen has Donkey Kong. How you feel about that? I mean, interesting. I mean, I'm always gonna think of Seth Rogen though as freaking as not Bob the Builder. Who's the other one? He was Seth Rogen was what's his name, wasn't it? He was in something's Wreck-It Ralph. Was it him in Wreck-It Ralph? Yeah, I think so.
He's not Wreck-It Ralph.
I think it was Wreck-It Ralph. Who was Wreck-It Ralph in that one?
That's Wreck-It Ralph is oh my gosh, I completely forgot his name. He's Shake and Bake from freaking. He's Will Ferrell's buddy.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to think though. I'm trying to think if Seth Rogen is actually in Wreck-It Ralph though. I'm trying to think of.
Oh yeah, John C. Reilly is Wreck-It Ralph.
John C. Reilly is Ralph.
Yeah.
He was. I think Seth Rogen actually is a voice actor in Wreck-It Ralph. I think he plays like
so too. Yeah.
Like a gumdrop or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. We mentioned Seth Rogen's playing Donkey Kong. There is also Spike, who is Bowser's son, I think. And people are thinking that was Charles Martinet, who plays, of course, the original Mario voice. There's a possibility that he will be doing the voice of Wario, which is like Mario's evil doppelganger. That again, that comes out Christmas of 2022. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I do see that possibly being one of the first animated movies that the Asylum maybe goes to go see.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be because for those who don't know, I forgot to put it on the actual like list.
No,
the people who are actually making this is Illumination Studios.
Oh, it's that's the same right.
It's the same people that made Despicable Me franchise, like The Secret Life of Pets, like, and they're doing Sing, right? The Sing 2 trailer came out like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so these are the same. These guys have a pretty decent pedigree of like animation. And so I'm definitely looking forward to it. If you made Despicable Me, and even Secret Life of Pets, dude, I'm pretty sure
one would assume that, and that's the animation style that we're gonna get.
Yeah, which is fine, which is good, I'm cool with, man.
All right, we'll wait and see it. Yeah. Moving right along, movie that I was looking forward to, but the trailer to me fell flat. My opinion is the Matrix Resurrections. The official trailer debuted probably a little over about 2 weeks ago, right when JR went on vacation. Of course, Lana Wachowski, which I believe is the sister of the Wachowski brothers.
No, it is the Wachowski. Both the Wachowskis transitioned into women, and Lana Wachowski was once.
I apologize.
Forgot the name, but yeah, it's
they transitioned.
Yeah, they both in transition. I think it was first Lana and then the other one.
Okay, so I apologize. Don't send your hate tweets to @Voice of Reason 23. Lana Wachowski. I died on this franchise after the second movie.
Yeah.
Back to direct the movie. I would assume co-wrote as well.
I think so too.
Maybe. The movie does star Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. Absolutely loved. That was one of my favorite things, was seeing Carrie-Anne Moss on the big screen, because I just got done watching. I'm still finishing The Punisher season 2, which is a lot better than I remember seeing it the first time. But Carrie-Anne Moss, of course, played Jerry Hogarth from the Marvel Universe brilliantly, and absolutely loved her in the show. Stunningly beautiful. The acting chops on her she's one of those actors to me. I'll dare I say it.
Yeah.
The way she performed in the Marvel Netflix shows is on par with Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
She is that big of a star because you got to think these Matrix movies were gigantic.
Oh, absolutely.
Matrix 1 is, you will put that alongside movies like Abyss, movies like goodness gracious, the
Which one?
the Christopher Nolan weird Inception.
Inception. Yeah.
Matrix is
yeah.
on that par. Reason being because they revolutionized the industry of filmmaking.
Yep.
You don't make Abyss, you don't make Terminator 2. You don't make Insurrection, you don't get to make or I'm sorry, As I say right? Insurrection?
The for Matrix?
No. The movie with Christopher Nolan. Inception. I'm sorry. Inception. You don't make Inception. You don't make movies like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, movies that have used that kind of, and then you don't make Matrix. You really don't do a lot of modern action movies. The 3D computer graphics. I mean, I know a lot. We used to joke around. My brother and I used to play Smash Brothers in slow motion and play the Matrix soundtrack. Because you would do like, you'd have Donkey Kong doing like the backflip and stuff like that. So really, truly, you want to blame Zack Snyder for his stupid slow-mos? The Wachowski brothers.
Sorry. Mean, was it Zack for the slow-mos or was it
Zack Snyder does the slow-mos in freaking Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut.
I was thinking of freaking the other one.
Anyone who's ever done a
who did the Bad Boys? Who did the Bad Boys again? Bad Boys?
Oh shoot.
Yeah, see, Transformers. That guy. I'm thinking of that guy.
Michael Bay. Yeah. No, great point. Michael Bay. There's the scene in Transformers 1 where Optimus Prime is jumping over the pretty girl. And she's like, they thank you, Wachowski brothers, Wachowski sisters, whatever you want to call them. But no, I will give you again those 3 movies in my opinion. Star Wars was amazing too. Star Trek amazing. Citizen Kane amazing, all in their own right. Bridge over River Kwai, Godfather, but from a visual standpoint, from a computer graphics, from a CGI, from a modern filmmaking, you don't make Star Wars, you don't have Abyss. You don't have Abyss, you don't have Terminator 2. You don't have any movie in the 90s without Terminator 2. You don't have a lot of movies in the 2000s without the Matrix. And really and truly, Inception, from a storytelling standpoint and from a visual standpoint, it's one of the many reasons why I think Doctor Strange is a completely underrated Marvel movie, is because of its use of a lot of what Christopher Nolan used in a lot of his movies, most specifically Inception. But outside of that, 2, 3, and 4. Maybe we haven't seen 4 yet, but 2 and 3. Come on, JR. Storytelling wise, a little weak in the Matrix.
Mean, it was. I felt like I would love to break down the Matrix series.
We could do a Matrix. We could do it
because I was the same way. I feel very much the same way in the sense of like when I first saw it, Matrix 1 blew everything out of the water. It was a very not just genre defying movie, but like just overall it was one of the movies that like totally tilted everything of movie making, that that franchise. Like without that franchise, I don't see a lot of like sci-fi-esque, very much action oriented movies getting made. Absolutely. But at the same time, the very much the philosophical standpoint of trying to engage all these different threads, right? How a lot of Eastern influences were into it, were into the mythology of the Matrix, how this whole concept of bridging the one or the person to help, shutter out this this mainstay, this world, basically, to get people to open their eyes. Just a lot of metaphors, a lot of like
Oh yeah,
metaphorical, high level stuff in the sense of like getting you to look at yourself like, what are you really talking about? And as well as just they're on a different level back in the day, very much on a different level back in the day. And yeah, and in comparison to like 2 and 3, I felt like people were more focused on 1 and the ideals behind 1 than they were about 2 and 3. And 2 and 3 were very much superhero movies, right? They were the superhero entries into a from even though people were thinking about more the philosophical standpoint. And granted, like I saw the progression to it now, seeing it now, right? I understand. Like, how are you supposed to come off that? How are you supposed to come off Matrix 1? And you
yeah.
basically just tell the story of Zion. Like I remember watching the Matrix trilogies again when I was still a Christian, right? I was still just I was discovering Christianity, and how it resonated with me of like, going back to Zion, the captures going back to Zion, the captives, take the captives back to Zion to, free themselves. But then it had a lot of Eastern influences of Taoism and Zen and all that. And I'm like, they're bridging so many things together about just religion in the sense of like trying to do away with, our electronic world in 2005. And how now, looking back at it now, we're super connected to the Matrix now. And I feel like the Matrix 4 is going to be a commentary of like how we are unwilling to disconnect from our Matrix. I'm hoping they get back to the philosophical standpoints, because it felt like that was like it to me. Or like how unaware are how much of our lives are just dedicated to this, right? How much of our lives, specifically in coronavirus time, in COVID, are we so connected to like YouTube, Instagram,
Absolutely.
the Matrix? And that's what I was looking at, dude. I'm super excited. I'm super pumped to see that hopefully they're going back to the more philosophical standpoints of like, like whole religion versus spirit type of thing. I know spirit versus technology type of thing. And so that I'm super excited for that, for me personally.
And I think what was kind of disconnecting about it was the Matrix was one of those big blockbuster indie movies. Really and truly, at its core, the Matrix story and the marketing behind it was, it's an indie film, but it had a relatively blockbustery budget to pull off what they did, with 2 unknowns writing and directing it. And then I think a lot of it too, it's why I'm very nervous for a movie like Doctor Strange, and to go Marvel, to go with the Multiverse of Madness, because Doctor Strange, though it had that big Disney budget, that big Marvel budget, that it still had it was I don't know how easy I was to say, a very grounded movie for a movie that's about sorcerers and whatnot. Using a case of point, I love Iron Man 1. Yep. Down and dirty, bust their ass to get this movie made kind of movie.
Yeah.
Almost guerrilla style, that's what I was looking for. And then they did well. Here's a bigger budget. And I almost kind of like the down and dirty of Iron Man 1 over Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi, down and gritty, guerrilla style filmmaking by George Lucas and whatnot. And then here's $1 billion, play with your computers and create the prequels and the sequels.
Yeah.
The sequels, I'll give JJ some credit. He tried and desperately tried to go back to the core.
Yeah.
And really bring back the heart of what made Star Wars so revolutionary for its time. And I think that bit Revolution and Reloaded was, here's a bunch of money, here's $200 million.
Yeah.
Go tell your stupid Matrix story.
Yeah.
And though it still had that kind of indie-esque cast, it just felt too big. And I think one of the great things about is you really look at the cast. Keanu Reeves was the biggest name. And Keanu Reeves was not a big name in 1999. I mean, his biggest claim to fame was Point Break at that point. I mean, he did some other stuff. Speed, but still, Matrix was massive for him.
Yeah, absolutely freaking
Point Break was a bit. I love Point Break. I think it's an underrated movie. The original, the new one was pure shit. Speed made him a household name. Yeah, I'll give you that. Matrix made him a megastar.
It was. I would definitely have to agree with you on that point. Where like, it's this whole thing of like, all right, you have more money now, right, to play with. Yeah. But at the same time, one the best for me visually, in the franchise was that the first one had just a lot of practical effects. A lot. And the thing about it too,
visually stunning as it was.
Yeah. And the thing about it too is that when it did get to more CG type of stuff, right? Let's say it was the subway fight scene, right, with Agent, I forgot his name, with the agent there, and it was like how he threw Neo to a wall and started doing these 1,000 punches with him.
Yeah,
that is believable because one, you're in a CG related, simulation,
CG reality.
Yeah, CG reality, right? But then you have that in comparison, in contrast with, let's say, Reloaded, right? And you have, CGI Neo fighting off against hundreds of agent whatevers, and it was just full on CGI. And with a little bit of mixed in with like short live action type of stuff. But yeah, I feel like the disparities between Matrix 1 and 2 really did set up a really bad precedent for everything afterwards in that sense. Even though Matrix 1 set up a great precedent for like action and cinematography and just using proper philosophy in an action film, we also got the whole like, you can CGI a whole freaking fight scene type of thing if you have a big budget.
And so it also could be wondering if the aspect of, hey, can you crank me out another one of those Matrix movies? And I think they forget that and the same thing for like, I'll use for another example, like the Blair Witch Project. What was so crazy about the Blair Witch Project was that it had the marketing behind it. So I saw a documentary on it about 10 years ago. I still thought it was real, that it was a real documentary, but it was a faux documentary. And it was marketed that way, and it used the infancy of the internet to market it as a documentary and whatnot. And then they made Blair Witch 2, and it was just like, no, you missed out on what made the first movie so great. And like I said, you always screw up a franchise by making a sequel sometimes, but you can't have a franchise without having a sequel. I think what took me out of the trailer too was the opening scene. I love Neil Patrick Harris. I think he's a fantastic actor. Doesn't get enough just dues, but the opening scene with him being there just kind of took me out of it. It's like something doesn't belong here. I don't know. Again, I'm judging it based on a trailer, and we've seen some shit trailers, and the movie ends up being great. We've seen some great trailers, and the movie ends up being shit. I didn't see Jada Pinkett Smith though, and I see you have her on the screen. And then of course Jessica Henwick, of course you know her as
a lot of things.
Gosh, what's her name from
Iron Fist?
Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Who of course was my woman crush Wednesday about a month ago. Mm-hmm. And then of course Priyanka Chopra Jonas.
Yeah.
Who is a phenomenal actress. Of course you know her from what was the name of that Quantico.
She's also been in a bunch of, like, I think she was in a cooking show.
She's been in a lot. But of course she's narrated to Nick Jonas, I think it was. That's what she shouldn't be famous for that. But interesting note, coming out December. It's December 22nd. this year. I was thinking it was going to be next year, as the day after Mario, but no, it's coming out this year on my daughter's birthday. And it will be available on HBO Max or Paramount or
HBO Max.
HBO Max. Which, by the way, I looked it up. All 3 Matrix movies are available to watch and stream on HBO Max right now, if you want to play a little catch up before the movie comes out in December. Does it have what's his name coming back as the agent?
No, I don't think so. Hugo Weaving? No, I don't think so.
It was so funny when I was coming up.
It sucks.
We always referred to him, Hugo Weaving's character, as Mr. Anderson, but he wasn't. Mr. Anderson was Neo's character in the Matrix, in the real and the whatever, and he was just Agent whatever. But yeah, we always just referred to him as remember my brother and I would. We just couldn't. Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
Moving right along to our last bit of news here. A sudden trailer drop came down about 2-3 weeks ago. We did not see this one coming, but we're glad we're glad we did. Hitting Disney Plus this November, just in time for Christmas. It's Hawkeye. It is starring, of course, Jeremy Renner, Hailee Steinfeld, the worst kept secret in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Vera Farmiga, love her, and Alaqua Cox, who is, of course, playing Echo. Has a brief snippet in the trailer. This, of course, being teased because perfect timing, just in time for Christmas. It's a Christmas movie, so it's like a Hallmark special. You know, it's the Hallmark for guys. I think we're gonna get Hawkeye this year. We're gonna get the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special next year. We've got the new Hallmark channel for guys. Well, for nerds, like not just for guys. For nerds is Disney Plus, but I right from the get-go loved everything about this trailer. I love how they're marketing Hawkeye, because you're like, okay, here we go, guys. He shoots arrows. Make him interesting for 10 episodes. How the hell do you do that? And they did. Noticeably absent, though, from the at least from the trailer, was Mrs. Hawkeye, Mrs. Runner. Played.
She wasn't there.
She was not. Never in the trailer. You just see her kids around the table. You see the kids around the table. You do not see. What's her name?
Yeah,
I can't think of her name right now.
Wasn't she on the phone?
She's on the phone. Yes.
And then we see, unless that's a different actress, and they just they splice that scene in to make you think that's the wife.
She's on. Well, he's on the phone and says, "Yeah, I'll be home in a couple days, hon." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I cannot, for the life of me, remember
Lisa Cardinelli.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because all I remember is that the actress played Scooby-Doo. She played Velma, and
she was also in Grandma's Boy.
Yeah.
And she was in. She got her start with a lot of other people in was it Slackers? No. What was the name of the show? It was a TV show. I'm gonna look it up now. Linda Cardellini. That's it. Laura Barton. Linda Cardellini. Love her. And what else was she all in? But nonetheless, trailer opens up with them out to dinner with his kids. Talk about this is the first time in years that they've had Christmas together. Of course, we know that his kids were snapped and were gone for 5 years. And it goes through. They see someone dressed up as Ronin on TV. Hawkeye or Clinton Barton goes out to do a little investigating. Comes to find out it's Hailee Steinfeld. It is Kate Bishop. There's a little montage. Yada yada yada. I thought it looks pretty funny. Lot of cameos by kind of fringe Marvel Hawkeye related characters. I'm hoping for a West Coast Avengers kind of reference, because that's the last we've seen of Kate Bishop and Clint Barton in the comic books. It's been about a year or so since we've seen them in comic book form. But no, it was a great little trailer. We do see a glimpse of Echo, of course, a character created in the comics about 15 years ago.
Yeah,
10
you
years
see
ago.
a lot of you see a lot of the newer characters that have been made in the last 10, 15 years are gonna have appearances in the more recent Marvel MCU outings now. And so I'm not surprised that Echo's in it. I'm pretty sure we won't be seeing the last of her. I'm pretty sure they will make a younger Avenger squad. Just if I hear Echo, then I'm immediately gonna think a bunch of New Age Avengers gonna come through. So yeah.
So yeah, looks great, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping that my mouse just locked up, so I'm hoping this isn't a
You're good.
rehash of what happened last month.
You're good.
You know, I know we joked around it was the worst kept secret in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that Hailee Steinfeld was going to be playing Kate Bishop.
Yep.
Love her in it. She gets a chance to show some of her comedy chops.
Yeah.
And we know that though there was no appearance by oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. What's her name? Puge from Black Widow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, her.
Character just
I forgot her name. Pugh's character. She's White Widow. She's technically gonna be White Widow, but Yelena
Yelena
Belova.
Belova.
Yeah. Belova.
So we do know that she is going to appear, and thank God my computer just unfroze. We do know that she is going to appear, though we did not get to see her in the trailer. We do know that there is. We don't know for a fact what Vera Farmiga is going to play. Supposedly, she might play Kate Bishop's mother, who plays a villain in the comic books. But yeah, well, we'll have to just wait and see. What did you think of the trailer? I mean, I know we haven't had to really have a chance to talk about it since it came out.
It looked fun. It looked good. I'm hoping it would be. It's looking like it is definitely a brevity type of. It feels like more like a brevity type of series. I'm hoping it's going to be, because it's marketing off. It's being marketed, or to me, it looks like it's being marketed like a Christmas themed type of like series where it's near that time, which I hope it is, honestly, because through the roller coasters that we've had with the last 3 series.
Yeah,
right?
we've been in kind of a
crazy mixture. I'm hoping that it's gonna be a little bit more about like, yeah, cool. Kate Bishop is definitely a big fangirl for Clint Barton. I'm hoping that we see a little bit more of Yelena. I'm hoping we are having more of that, like, Christmassy, lighthearted, happy, fun with little bits of like levity. Well, little bits of like seriousness type of thing there, you sprinkle in there. But from this trailer, right, it feels like we'll see Jeremy Renner in his own now. And people forget Jeremy Renner is a freaking well-renowned actor.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
Academy Award nominated actor.
Mm.
I will say this: I'm anxious to see not only in this show, but also in Spider-Man No Way Home, if we're going to see the crossover that we so desperately want. And that, of course, is in Spider-Man No Way Home. We talked about it in our previous breakdown of that trailer last month, and you can check it out on our YouTube channel or on our audio on the wherever you download your podcast. The possibility of Charlie Cox's Daredevil / Matt Murdock making his appearance. There's also talk that in this universe, we are going to see not only not Wade Wilson, Wilson Fisk. Well, Wade Wilson, this would be pretty badass.
Yeah, dude,
and
awesome.
I want to talk to you about that real quick before we get into our flex pools. But there's talk that Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, played by none other than Vincent D'Onofrio, could be making his return as either a soft reboot of the character or using the multiverse. It is the Netflix version of the character. It's a possibility. It's not confirmed. There's been no footage of Vincent D'Onofrio playing the character. So it could be maybe a secret, like an Easter egg where they filmed it like on a sound stage or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm anxious for that. And you know what? At the end of the day, if he doesn't appear, I'm not going to feel ripped off or jaded.
Yeah. No.
But super looking forward to Hawkeye. I know I say that about every single show, but like Jared mentioned, we had WandaVision, which was a total mind trip. You had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was a suspenseful kind of really and truly, to sum it up, it is a sequel to Winter Soldier. It was a crime.
Yeah.
It was a political crime drama,
Yep.
rolled up in an action movie. Loki was a kind of a thinking man's show, very well written, very well acted, and very much, very Matrixy-esque. You had to really pay attention to the details. And a lot of maybe some philosophical kind of overtones to it. I mean, especially with he who remains. But now you have Hawkeye, and I think this is an opportunity for us to kind of give that family drama, that family comedy that we so desperately want around the holidays. I mean, this could be like the Christmas Vacation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I think it's going to bring something different. It looks obviously going to be kind of an action-y show, but I think it's going to be kind of a buddy cop. I thought we were going to get that. I thought we were going to get that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but we ended up getting kind of a political drama.
Yeah, a little more serious political drama. They did have its points, but specifically this one, it feels very much mentor and ward type of vibe, as well as it feels like buddy cop. It feels very much that sense. Now the bigger question for this is going to be, how are they going to play it? How are they going to introduce Kate Bishop into not just the MCU, but more so what Avengers Squad? Is she going to be a full-on ward of Clint Barton? Is Clint Barton now going to show her to whoever the hell is running Shield, or not Shield, the Avengers initiative after this point, right?
Well, it's kind of insinuated too that, and I can't remember where they were, who talked about it, but it's kind of insinuated that right now the Avengers are no more. And we've seen that. So let's go back to WandaVision. You had Wanda Maximoff, who, after the results of Infinity War and Endgame, is out in parts unknown trying to rip apart the multiverse. Doctor Strange is very much trying to keep the fabric of our solar system, of our planet, as the guardian of that kind of aspect, kind of intact. Because like I said, from what we've seen in Spider-Man No Way Home, and one would have to assume in the early goings of the Multiverse of Madness, is that Doctor Strange's intent was just to keep planet Earth safe. That there was the idea of the multiverse existed, but that did not exist, at least not in their minds. The only one that knows that the multiverse exists at this point is obviously Loki. And I just tripped over something. Crud. So you look at all the characters in the that would be Avengers, so to speak, are no more. I mean, Spider-Man's he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Doctor Strange is doing his deal. Wanda's out in La La Land. In Falcon and Winter Soldier, you have Falcon is working for the Air Force, and Bucky was doing government issued
hit jobs.
He was doing government recommended therapy. So you look at all the quote unquote, I mean, Tony's dead, Steve's retired, Steve's on a moon somewhere. Obviously we know that, or at least we've got a hint at with, can we say that? Can we say spoiler alert?
No, don't do
we
it.
know,
don't
let's
do
put
it.
it, we know what Bruce, let's say we know what Bruce and Carol are doing. It's hinted at that. Well, obviously we know that with Chadwick Boseman's passing, Wakanda and the Black Panther and Shuri, they're dealing with the passing of T'Challa. So really there is no Earth's Mightiest Heroes right now. There is no super team. So starts to bring into question. What is Shield? I'm sorry, what is Sword doing? Are they putting together the Fantastic Four? Are they putting together a team? What is Val doing? Is she putting together the Thunderbolts? Could she be doing the Dark Avengers? Is she the one responsible for the Young Avengers? We don't know. We do know this for a fact so far that Valentina has John Walker and Yelena Belova, and one would have to assume that she would probably be going after Kate Bishop. While again, if you haven't seen Black Widow, spoiler alert, one would have to assume that with what we know at the end of Black Widow, that Yelena is going after Clint. She wants to take out Clint Barton. So, what team is Valentina putting together? We don't know.
It's gonna be it's definitely gonna be interesting to see. I would just thinking about the scenes between Yelena and Kate. It's just kind of funny to me already, and having a super awkward, super super serious freaking Johnny Walker in the background. It's definitely gonna be weird interplay.
That's gonna be another thing too. Is are we gonna just see? Because at this point now, it has been. We know now. There's no what version came first. What was Black Widow was supposed to come first, then Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we know that Valentina has spoken with John Walker and Yelena Belova. Are we going to see John Walker in Hawkeye? That's a great question. Let us know in the comments below what you think. What's going to happen in Hawkeye? You think we're going to get Wilson Fisk? Are we going to get other? Are we going to find out what Valentina is after? We'll find out on November 24th. Cannot wait. Real quick, one more thing that is coming out this week as we're recording this on October 1st. Cannot wait. I have waited for nearly 14 years for this moment. The Many Saints of Newark. The prequel movie to The Sopranos, the greatest television show that was ever created. David Chase swore up and down he would never do a Sopranos movie. Instead, he's not giving us this quote unquote Sopranos movie. He's giving us a prequel to The Sopranos, and it looks fantastic. You got, of course, James Gandolfini's son playing young Anthony Soprano. You have Vera Farmiga. God, I can't think of her name. Who's going to be in Hawkeye? She's playing. Vera Farmiga. John Bernthal's in this. Oh my goodness, it looks like a great cast. Comes out this Friday. It's going to be on HBO Max. It is the prequel to the pre-Sopranos movie, and I will be watching it Friday night if I don't have a football game. If not, I might watch it after the football game. But JR, Sopranos fan, yay, nay?
I'm indifferent. I never really, it was because this was on HBO. I never really got into a lot of HBO material until I got HBO, and that wasn't even that long ago, So like, probably it's one of those things for me now. Looking at it, like if I get into it, I'll get into it. It's like when people try to suggest me Friends. I'm not really a big Friends fans either. So when they suggest me that, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of a lot of episodes, a lot of things, and cool, I get it, but it has to be one of those things where if I feel like I can get into it, I'll get into it eventually. So, but I'm not in any rush at the moment.
Let us know. You a Sopranos fan? You waiting for the Many Saints of New York? Let us know. Comments below. It's that time of the show again. As always, we end the show with a flex poll.
Yeah, you start first.
Yeah, and let's see, can I do it with the? I can do it with the background. We have an unboxing to do. I'm just to piss JR off. I'm going to do this. Got this Scarlet Witch from WandaVision. I've saved this. I've had this for over a month. Haven't opened it yet. Until now, waited to do it with you guys and to be on the phone with JR. So you can laugh at me if one of these is broken. Oh, this thing's heavy. Goodness gracious. Oh, this is a gorgeous freaking Funko Pop. This is Wanda in her full dark hold. She's got the dark hold there. Very much from the cutscene at the end of WandaVision. She's going to go right here next to Agent to Captain Carter, which my kids have knocked over about 40 million times. This is the one I wanted. Really, truly, I only wanted this Funko for Miss Minute, and it's Ravonna Renslayer. And if you watch our, actually, I don't even know if it made it into the final cut, but JR and I talked about that. We absolutely love the actress who plays Ravonna Renslayer. She's going to be JR's Woman Crush Wednesday this week. So, oh, this one's actually rubber banded in. I don't know if I can get this one out. Don't break it, Kevin. Don't break it. Yeah, this one was kind of unique. Does this have a stand? Oh, it does have a stand. So I have Ravonna Renslayer in her TVA judge outfit, so to speak. There you go, Ravonna. She's gonna go right here in front of Wanda.
Yo.
And
It's continuing to piss me
we
off.
got Miss Minute. There she is, Miss Minute. Gonna go right here next to Ravonna. Of course, Ravonna, Miss Minute, voiced by help me out, JR. She was
her
she,
name. Yeah, I forgot.
She did. She's done. She did. She's the one that does. What she does. She's Ash Ketchum.
I think so. No.
Is it her?
She played a lot of. She played a lot of people. I think she played Raven and Teen Titans.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you can. I can't think of her name now off the top of my head, but you can get her. You can actually. And I thought about doing this for my daughter for her birthday. Is she does Raven, and my kids love Teen Titans. As I thought about going on Cameo and having her send my daughter a message on Cameo, so I might still do that. I don't know. I've never done those before. Let me know in the comments below if you've had any good, bad, or indifferent.
Tara Strong, that's her name.
Tara Strong, that's it. Now I've debated about opening this one. This is T'Challa, Star-Lord.
I'm not looking.
I'm not gonna open this yet. You guys let me know in the comments if I should open up that one, because I actually have a Black Panther one that I haven't opened up yet. This one I'm also debating on opening up because the person who sent this to me on sent it in a protective case. I was missing this one. This is Venom Gwenpool. This was a GameStop exclusive. I think Chick has her. It was opened up at the store. I'm not 100% sure, but there it is right there. She's got the cell phone. She's got the katana. She's got a drumstick. Gwenpool as a Venomite or Venom. That is just frightening. We got one more. I have not done this one yet. I've not opened this one up from Target. I bought this one back in god dang March, I think. And what's it called? I bought this because I was buying the crud. Which ones did I buy? I bought a bunch of them on Target. I have a bunch of Funkos on Target's website when they came out, and I needed one more to push it over for free shipping. So I said, screw it, why not this one? And yet what's funny, in that order that I placed, I had one of the Funkos get canceled, and that was my Captain America Sam Wilson from Target, the Target exclusive. And then also this today, I would have had more Funkos to unbox, but Amazon back ordered them. So I am missing the 4 brand new Pokemon Funkos. I won't be getting till the end of the month, if not until next month. So this one comes by way of Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is the black suit Superman. So I figured, why the hell not? On the back, it'll show you that the 4 Funkos that were available from this line. You have the black suit Superman, which is 1,123. 1124 is Diana Prince in the white outfit. And then you've got Desaad and Darkseid. I think I've seen Darkseid actually at Hot Topic. So if you're a Funko fan, and again, just to irritate the hell out of JR, he loves that sound. The sound of Funkos being opened. There it is. Henry Cavill's black suit Superman. I loved that storyline in Superman Returns back in the 90s. And I remember when I saw the black suit Superman in comic books, I was like, I cannot wait to see this on the big screen. And when I heard that Nicolas Cage, and there's video footage, Nicolas Cage actually did screen tests in a comic book accurate black suit as well as mullet. I was like, maybe I can wait for a black suit. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there's my Funko, my Flex Pool, Ravonna Renslayer, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, and Black Suit Superman, of course, as always, as well as T'Challa Star-Lord. I'll probably open this later, and I still haven't not decided if I'm going to do the Gwenpool one because it's got this cool case in it. I don't know. JR's probably do like their Funkos. You don't open them. You're an idiot. What you got?
I'm not saying anything.
I know. I just send the hate tweets at Voice of Reason 23, and there. By the way, if you know a good maid, preferably one that's French, JR is looking for a early Christmas present.
Here's the thing. I know you guys have seen. Okay, so
we've all seen the mess, JR.
For those who don't watch, who have yet to watch the video format of this, right? Every time I get off my screen, right, I usually have a screen that's something else. Every time I get off it, my room was just a complete mess. This right here was clean before I left. All of this was clean before I left.
People want to know, do you have a water bed?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's regular bed. And since I came back, man, I just been lazy and as well stuff. I've been just moving stuff around, reorganizing stuff, right? Like consistently, perpetually reorganizing the room with all the comics around. And so, like, yeah, it's a mess. It's not gonna be a mess soon because I gotta clean this probably right after this recording. But yeah, I bought a bunch of stuff, bro. I bought a bunch of stuff. I gotta say though, my money my investment is gonna really pay off, hopefully. And but yeah, the first thing I bought was actually not from the con, was actually from a pre-order from Sanctum Sanctorum. They're out in Philadelphia, I think, or Indiana.
Don't know this one.
It is the wife is Filipino, and so they have a lot of Filipino themed like books in their store where they get their own, like they got their own exclusives, right? This is exclusive for them. For this one just came out, Marvel Voices Identity Variant Edition 1.
Is it?
It has the first
nice.
It has the first Filipino Captain America.
Love it.
Her name's Agbayani. But also from them the United States Captain America number 4. Right, I'm pretty sure I got a couple at the store as well. These ones came out from the con. I got Monstrous, the third printing, I think. A Monstrous 1. This one was a big get for me. Sandman, Morpheus. I forgot I put it in here, dude. If y'all people saw the Morpheus, the Morpheus, the Sandman Netflix trailer that dropped, right? I forgot to add that into this one. It'll probably be in the next one.
No, and yeah. So of course, I think there was an article I was reading while I was doing some of my show prep. There was an article came out that I think it was from let's see if I can find it. Maybe I'll post it. But there was an article about some kind of decision made with Sandman and why it was John Constantine, why he was recast in for the show. But I had it here, and
it is what it is. It's fine. This one I'm hoping they do right. This is Sandman. I have one already, but this is Sandman. I think issue 4, 5, no, issue 8. There you go. First Death of the Endless. My favorite character. My favorite version of Death in all of fiction. And then this was a big hit for me, right here.
Oh, that's right. This was your
Yeah, Star Wars Canon, the last Padawan, I think. Yeah, issue number 6 has Sabine Wren in it. So Sabine Wren is a I'm pretty sure we talked about it before. Sabine Wren is a Mandalorian who was part of this group here, this ragtag group, and then she goes back to actually help fight for Mandalore. So you will see her in the upcoming Mandalorian series or whatever other series that come after that, spin off after that one. Now, what?
I was just say, Andor finally wrapped production, so that's going to be. We're probably going to see that early next year.
Cool.
And
I
think Book of Boba Fett wrapped last week or the week before. So
yeah. I'm hoping the CGC that I got back too.
Ooh, what did we get?
Okay, so I sent this one in. I have Negan Lives 9.8 right here. The gold variant, the one per store, I think. Yeah, it's gold variant. This was a big one for me. Venom 9.8, the one for 500. This is the Venom 150 came out like 3 years ago. So.
And that Negan Lives, that's just like that's maybe a year old, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, maybe about a year and a half old.
I will say this one hurt me. This next one, it's my only 9.6 out of the whole thing. This one hurt.
Black Cat,
J. Scott Campbell, like Chat Noir variant. I don't know how the hell it came up with 9.6, man. 9.6 is going for like 1,300 right now on the Bay. Oh, I can't believe I'm probably either gonna crack it and crack it open, maybe press it, get it all nice and clean, and maybe send it back in and probably get it back in sometime in the next 3 years or something like that.
Get a 10.0.
Who knows? Hopefully.
Which does it. I was talking to my dad about that as we wrap things up. He asked me if there's ever been if there's ever been a 10.0 and what are like, because I was trying to explain to him about grading, because he asked me if I had gotten my Spider-Man book back, and I said no. I goes, what how can you get a perfect 10? I said, you literally have to take it off the press and put it right into a slab. Yeah. And he goes, does there? I said, yeah, they exist. Yeah. And people do exactly that. Like they white glove it, they put it into either a top loader or put it into something like this.
Back and forth. Yeah.
Like this, and protect it and ship it to CGC in a case like this. This is like a faux CGC.
Majority of the time too, a lot of the 9.8s and 9.9s too, there are a lot of indie stuff, right? There are a lot of indie books because CGC, of course, hasn't been around for too long in comparison to the comic book industry. You'll be hard pressed to find like a 9 point anything of like anything past 1970s. I'm not saying you can't find them or anything before 1970s. I'm not saying you can't find them. It's that they're super hard.
Oh, like, yeah.
I mean, like, what was that? What was the first appearance of Superman, right? Action Comics 1. They went for a 9.0 that Nick Cage had way back when, right?
It's like it was like $3 million or something like that.
Yeah,
like
$3 or $4 million, right? And so like even that, I'm pretty sure there is maybe a higher Superman out there. I think I heard some news of like a 9.2 or 9.4, but yo, that's impossible, right? It's impossible.
I mean, you're talking about a book that's nearing 100 years old.
Yeah.
So anyways, hey, if you guys have any CGC stories, put it in the comments below. Let us know about your CGC stories, whether they're stories or nightmares or whatever. Ooh, look at those bad boys.
This one's my favorite Peach Momoko cover, dude. Well, one of them.
Oh, very nice.
Venom. But yeah, definitely.
I did have a Peach Momoko from the Death of Doctor Strange cover, which was really cool cover. But yeah, let us know in the comments below, again, talking about CGCs. What let us know what are your stories like? What are you hearing from CGC? Do you have books out there that are being graded and you haven't seen in about 2 years like me? Let us know in the comments below. I'm still waiting for my Amazing Spider-Man number 129. We're hoping it'll be back here in time for Christmas. That's the optimistic prediction by Javel and by Chick, mostly by Javel because he's been in contact with CGC. But yeah, the good news is there's a lot of books that are coming back starting to kind of trickle in a little bit more frequently. I actually have 2 books out being pressed right now. I have a cover A first issue of Transformers and My Little Pony signed by Tony Fleeks. So looking for that always trying to the highly obtained yellow bar on the CGC. So anyways, as a matter of fact, JR talked about cracking open the book. That's one of the things I'm trying to do is I think I have 2 copies right now of X-Men number 1, Uncanny X-Men number 141.
Yeah.
I have one that's signed by Chris Claremont and a couple others. And I want to keep one raw, untouched. And I'm like, well, I might as well get that one pressed. But I'm like, I wish that I could get like I wish I could have the autographed one, the Chris Claremont one. I wish that there was a way. I know that I could send it to what's the other one?
CBCS.
CBCS, and they can use they have people that go like, oh yeah, that's
to verify.
That's that they verify signatures. And I just would love to have that thing slabbed so I can hang it up and stuff like that. But well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, guys, hit us up on all of our social media. Again, me, Voice of Reason 23 on all social media platforms. JR, also not JR Comics 42 on Instagram. Hit us up. PS Comics I Love You on Facebook and Instagram. PS Comics I Love the letter U on Twitter. And you're going to want to follow us on Twitter because there's a very good chance in the very near future that we're going to go live. We're going to do some live shows. And that's how you can actually interact with the show via our Facebook page or our Twitter account. And we're just trying to figure out when and why we would go live. But we've got some new opportunities for us. Thanks to my good friend Sean for giving me the access to that software. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. It as always, be nice, be a good, decent human being. Be kind to one another, wear your damn masks. And as always, JR, we say, peace.